guys, I'm Lindsay from the blog Repurpose and Upcycle. Today we're talking about unicorn spit. So unicorn spit is a paint, a stain, and a glaze all in one bottle. This stuff is untoxic, and the coolest thing is this particular product smells like lemongrass. This is the glitter product. They also have like regular colors, like solid colors. That smells like jasmine. So I'm going to be taking these tree chargers. These are 5 very rough cut tree chargers I've had sitting in my garage for about 5 years now. So I'm going to hopefully transform these into a fun and whimsical scene, and I'm going to cover it with a glaze coat, and then I'm going to sit them outside around my kids' treehouse for some fun stepping stones. Let's go over materials before we begin. You're going to need a brush. Now, one thing about the brush, they suggest using a synthetic brush. They do not suggest using a foam brush, so no foam brushes with this product. Obviously, you're going to need your unicorn spit. Describe whichever product of theirs that you want. Pencil if you need it. I'm going to use it to create a scene, just a guide to where I could put the paint on. I am going to use a spray bottle. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this in a minute, but it helps make the paint glide a little better. I am going to be using a glaze coat on top. You want to decide what kind of pattern you're going to do on it, and what I've decided to do is create like a yellow brick road that kind of leads the stepping stones to the treehouse. So I'm going to lightly draw in a pattern, starting with this one. I'll lightly put this on the tree charger. So it's going to start here, and it's going to move into here. The first thing we're going to do is grab your unicorn spit and shake it up really good. Make sure it's good and mixed. And then what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to use the spray bottle for, I'm going to spray down the top of the tree chargers just to kind of let the paint blend a little better so it doesn't dry in one spot. So I'm just using a misting bottle, and then I'm going to open the bottle, and then I'm just going to put some little blobs right there. And this is so easy, y'all. And then you just take your brush, and I'm going to paint the wood. That's what I love about this product. It's so easy to use, and it's so versatile. And did I mention the smell? I think I already did mention the smell. This particular smells like lemongrass. Never known a paint to have a fun smell like that. The cool thing about this unicorn spit is you can also use it on fabric. You can use it on glass. You can use it on metal. And you can use this in a pouring medium. You can use it in a sealer. You can mix it in a sealer. I am just diluting it with a little bit of water on top of the product. And what it's going to do, as it dries, it's going to soak into the wood grain. And that's when it's going to really create that three-dimensional effect. And hopefully look really beautiful. And then I'm going to put the sealer on top, and that's when it's really going to stand out. Okay? And you put as much as you want or as little as you want. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. And you'll notice with the different wood, like this wood piece, it shows up lighter than this wood piece, which gives it a little variation, which is really neat. And then once you're done with one color, you do the same thing and you move on to another color. And by the way, I am not going to be cleaning my brush out. I want the colors to blend. So I'm not going to worry about cleaning my brush too much. Okay, I've got the yellow. Now I'm going to move, I'm going to put a little red in there. I'm going to shake up my red. I want to make sure it's not too dry. I'll spray a little more water. And by the way, if you realize that it's too dry and you're worried that the color isn't blending enough, all you have to do is spray some water over it, and it blends really easily. Or if you want to concentrate the color, you don't want it as bright, you just spray a little water on it and use your brush. And this stuff is so easy to work with. All right, so now I'm gonna do a red stripe on the outside. See, that was a little too concentrated. So I'm gonna spray it down. I'm gonna blend it a little bit, okay? You can see I've kind of outlined the yellow and red. Now I'm just gonna go back over with some blue. Like I said, I'm not cleaning my brush. I kind of want these colors to blend. And I don't know if you can see, but like this one, you can already see some of the wood variations, which is neat. And if the wood dries out too much, just give it a little more water. And I know it might look kind of light now, but once it dries, like I said, it'll create that three-dimensional effect where it's gonna look, the paint will show up a little more, especially the glitter parts. They're gonna show up a little more. It's gonna soak into the wood grain a little more. This took no time. I'm kind of nearing the end of painting this side at least. And guys, I don't really consider myself an artist, but this is one thing I love about this product is you feel like you're doing something, like you're building something, but you're having fun too. And not to mention how cool and exciting this is gonna be for my kids. As you can see, you can kind of see the pattern of where these stepping stones are gonna go, and it's ultimately gonna end right there. Now, if you notice, the yellow is a little light. I'm gonna go back over it with a little more product just to give it a little more of that yellow color. And by the way, yes, I have not washed my brush out at all. I actually kind of like the idea of some of these colors blending a little bit. Okay, and like I said, as it dries, they're gonna get brighter and brighter and brighter because the water will soak into the wood. The color and the glitter will stay on top of the wood. And hopefully I'm just gonna have this beautiful, fun finish. And by the way, this product dries really quickly, so it really shouldn't take any time for me to be able to put the top coat on it. I think the last thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna go in and do like a green outline, just to kind of outline the stones or the wood. And remember, if you get too much, all you have to do is spray it with a little water and then wipe it off. What do y'all think? Like I said, as it dries, the water will soak into the wood and the color will just pop. The unicorn spit is good and dry, and now it's time to cover it with a craft resin. So here's our craft resin. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour equal parts into separate cups, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour one of them into here, and then I'm gonna stir for 6 full minutes. I'm gonna pour it into a clean container. I'm gonna use my gloves, and I'm gonna pour the mixture over the pieces of wood. Okay, I've got a foam brush to cover the edges really well. Pouring B into A. Now I have to stir for 6 minutes. Okay, so here we are ready to pour. Now make sure you're on a surface that can actually get the epoxy on. You're not worried about the surface. This is actually contact paper. So if I get it on the contact paper, it's no big deal, because when I'm done, I'm gonna pull it up and throw it away. Make sure you have your gloves on. You've stirred the craft resin to what the directions said you needed to stir it to. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pour it over the surface, just like that. And then with a straight edge, you're going to make sure you even it out. Make sure you even it out really well. Pour it over the edge a little bit. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna let it drip, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my foam brush and go along the sides. can see I have some here on the sides. I'm going to use, the biggest thing is make sure it's smooth. And when I'm good and smooth and I've covered the entire surface, I'm going to get a heat gun, and I'm going to use a heat gun to get rid of any bubbles. If I see any bubbles, it's already looking good. Love the way it's looking already. So I'm going to do the same thing to all 5 different pieces of wood, and then I'm going to let it cure. Hey guys, it has been 24 hours. The craft resin is dry, and I am so excited with how they've turned out. Thanks for watching my video today, guys, about how to use unicorn spit and how to make a fun, exciting project with it. A big thank you to Unicorn Spit for sponsoring this project. I'll see you next time.